Hello and welcome to the Alpha Edge Podcast, the show for men over 50 who refuse to fade out, slow down, play small, or settle for average. I'm your host, Kevin English. I'm a healthy aging expert, coach, and founder of the Alpha Edge, and I am here to help you get and stay strong in every dimension of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, morally, and spiritually. You're here because you're ready to reclaim your power, to own your masculinity, and lead your life with strength and purpose. If you're ready to sharpen your edge, revive your drive, and lead like a man who's built for more, you're in the right place. All right, men, let's get after it. You guys ever notice how somewhere along the line, sleep became a competition? Like guys started bragging about how little they get, like it's some sort of badge of honor. Reminds me of the Warren Zevon song that says, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." And yeah, I've said things along that line too, but here's the truth. If that's your attitude, you're going to get there a whole lot sooner. This idea that real men, we grind harder, sleep less, and we push through fatigue, it's one of the biggest lies we've been sold. And here's the deal. It's killing us slowly, like literally. Because when you cut sleep, you're not just cutting rest, you're cutting testosterone. You're cutting recovery. You're cutting focus and patience and leadership. You're robbing yourself of your edge. Here's the paradox that most of us guys never realize. Sleep is not weakness. Sleep is strength. It's the foundation of every ounce of energy, power, and discipline you bring to your day. You can have the best training program. You can have the cleanest diet. You can have the strongest mindset. But if you're not sleeping, you're fighting with one arm tied behind your back. Sleep is when your body rebuilds. It's when your mind resets. It's when your spirit recharges. It's your nightly opportunity to prepare for war, to rise up tomorrow sharper, calmer, stronger, more dangerous in the best possible way. So today we're going to talk about what healthy, optimal sleep really looks like for a man who wants to age like a warrior, who wants to be sharp, strong, and full of life. We're going to break down the sleep cycles, the real targets that you should be hitting, and some practical steps you guys can take to master your nights so you can dominate your days. Because the world doesn't need any more soft, tired men. It needs rested men, focused men, mission-driven men. So let's kill the lie. Let's talk about why sleep is not optional, it's essential, and how you can reclaim your masculine edge by mastering the most powerful recovery tool you already have, and that's sleep. So when you strip it all down, your muscle, your confidence, your focus, your drive, even your faith, it all runs on one thing, and that's energy. And sleep is where that energy is born. So think about it. During the day, you're breaking your body down. You're training, you're thinking, you're leading, you're solving problems, you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. But it's not during the grind that you grow stronger. It's during the recovery. Sleep is where testosterone gets built. It's where growth hormone floods your system, repairing your muscles and your tissue. It's where your brain detoxes, literally flushing out waste so you can wake up clear and sharp instead of foggy and reactive. You can crush your workouts, you can eat clean, you can pop all the right supplements, but if you're burning the candles at both ends and shortchanging your sleep, you're sabotaging your progress. Your testosterone tanks. Your cortisol spikes, you become more irritable, less motivated, and less disciplined. You're not a warrior, you're a worn-out soldier trying to fight a spiritual and physical war on fumes. So let's call this what it is. Sleep is the cornerstone of masculine vitality. When you protect your sleep, you protect your edge, your strength, your libido, your focus, your leadership. And this is why guys who treat sleep like an afterthought end up tired, anxious, overweight, and uninspired. But when you master sleep, when you start treating it like it's a part of your training, you become unstoppable. Because sleep isn't passive. It's not just rest. It's an active process, a biological rebuilding mission designed by God himself. And when you neglect it, you're telling your creator, hey, I got this. I don't need the system you built. And guys, look, that's pride talking. But when you honor your body's need for sleep, when you embrace it as a sacred recovery tool, you're aligning with how you were designed to function. And that's when your masculine energy comes roaring back. So from this point forward, understand this. Sleep is not downtime, it's training time. It's when the man you want to be tomorrow is built tonight. So let's clear one thing up right out of the gates. If you are a grown man trying to perform at your peak, 7 hours is the bare minimum you should be sleeping every night. And I don't mean 7 hours in bed scrolling Instagram or tossing and turning. I'm talking about 7 hours of real, restorative, high quality sleep. The sweet spot for most men is somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. But here's the key. It's not just how long you sleep, it's how well you sleep. So let's break that down. Every night your body cycles through different phases of sleep. Now, each phase has a purpose, and when you understand these, you can start optimizing your rest like an athlete, not like an amateur. So let's start with the first phase, light sleep. And think of this as kind of your warm-up phase. This is where your body starts to unwind. Your heart rate and your breathing are going to slow down. Muscles will start to relax, and your brain begins to process the day's events. Light sleep makes up about half your night, and while it's important, it's not where the real magic happens. Next up, we have deep sleep. You can think of deep sleep as your recovery zone. This is your body's repair shop. So in deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, it rebuilds muscle tissue, and it strengthens your immune system. Your brain waves slow way down and your nervous system hits the reset button. This is when you physically recharge. So if you're lifting weights, if you're training, if you're trying to get leaner, deep sleep is where those gains actually happen. Your target, at least 1 hour of deep sleep every night, is an optimal target to chase. And then finally we come to REM sleep or REM sleep, and this is your mental and emotional recharge. So REM is where you're going to sharpen your edge. It's when your brain organizes its memories, it's going to reinforce learning, and it's going to process emotions that you went through during the day. And this is the difference between waking up clear-headed and creative versus groggy and reactive. Most guys need around 2 hours of REM sleep every single night in order to feel truly sharp, focused, and emotionally steady. So if you add it all up, your goal is roughly 7 to 9 hours of total, with about 1 hour of deep sleep and about 2 hours of REM sleep being ideal. So that's your nightly blueprint for strength, clarity, and calm power. Now, if you're not hitting those numbers, it's like showing up to battle without your armor. You might survive, but you ain't gonna thrive. And now here's something else to remember. Your sleep quality is a reflection of your lifestyle discipline. So if you're up late watching Netflix, you're drinking, you're snacking, you're scrolling, don't expect to wake up ready to conquer anything. But when you start treating sleep like a sacred part of your training, protecting it with intention, your body's going to reward you with energy and focus and fire that you haven't felt in years. So let's talk about what healthy sleep hygiene really looks like and how to spot bad habits that are secretly robbing us of our vitality every single night. Because you can't fix what you don't understand, and most men have no idea how much they're sabotaging their sleep. Because think about it, most guys think they're doing fine on 4, 5, 6 hours of broken sleep. They're not. They're just used to feeling terrible. They've normalized low energy, short tempers, brain fog, and a gut that keeps growing no matter how much cardio they do. Guys, that's not aging, that's exhaustion. That's poor sleep hygiene. So let's paint a clear picture here of what healthy sleep hygiene actually looks like. You've got a consistent bedtime and wake time, even on the weekends. You fall asleep easily, you sleep deeply, and you wake up refreshed without hitting snooze 10 times. Your room is cool, dark, and quiet. It's a cave, not a carnival. You go to bed calm, not buzzing from caffeine, stress, or blue light. You wake up with energy, clarity, and focus. You're patient, centered, your hormones are balanced, and your workouts feel powerful. That's what real recovery feels like. That's what it means to wake up with masculine energy, ready to lead your family, crush your goals, and dominate your day. Now, let's contrast that with poor sleep hygiene. So poor sleep hygiene looks like this. You stay up late, quote unquote, unwinding in front of the screen. You drink a few beers or have a couple cocktails in order to relax and unwind. You scroll until your eyes burn. You fall asleep with the TV on. You wake up at 3 a.m. wired and restless. Then in the morning, you hit snooze 3 times. You drag yourself out of bed. You slam some coffee and spend the whole day chasing energy you never recovered. And by 3 p.m., you're crashing hard. And by 10 p.m., you're wired again. Guys, that's not a picture of discipline. That's full-on dysfunction. And it's slowly wrecking your hormones, your metabolism, your mood, your relationships. Look, poor sleep isn't just a bad habit. It's a silent assassin. It kills your drive, your focus, your patience, your performance in the gym, and yes, your performance in the bedroom. So here's the truth. Every area of your life is downstream of your sleep. If your sleep sucks, everything else suffers. If your sleep improves, everything else starts clicking into place. So before you look for the next supplement or biohack or magic program, fix your foundation, because the guy who sleeps like a warrior lives like a warrior. All right, man, time to stop talking about sleep and start training for it, because that's exactly what this is. This is training. And just like you train in the gym to build muscle, or you train your mind to build discipline, you've got to train yourself to sleep like a warrior. So here's your battle plan. Number 1, sleep in a cool, dark cave. Your body's core temperature needs to drop for you to hit deep sleep. So you want to aim for a room temperature between 60 and 67 degrees. I know most of you guys are sleeping in rooms that are much warmer than that, but look, science has shown us in study after study that the optimal sleeping temperature for human beings is south of 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Block out every last bit of light. Think blackout curtains, maybe cover your clock if it's got an LED light, unplug the night light. That blue light wrecks your melatonin production and it keeps your brain wired like it's high noon. If you use your phone for an alarm, put it on airplane mode and put it face down. The only things that belong in your bedroom are you, your woman, and your rest. Number 3, the bedroom has 2 purposes, and that's sleep and sex. That's it. No working, no scrolling, no Netflix marathons. Train your brain to associate your bed with recovery and connection, not with distraction. Number 4, power down early. 90 minutes before bed, shut it all down. Screens, bright lights, the mental noise, all of it. Pick up a book, stretch, pray, journal, or just be still. This is your transition from fight mode into recharge mode. Number 5, avoid stimulants after noon. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 hours, meaning that afternoon cup of coffee is still buzzing in your bloodstream at bedtime. If you're constantly tired, don't drink more caffeine. Fix your sleep. Number 6, ditch the nightcap. Look, I get it. Alcohol might help you fall asleep. It might make you feel sleepy, but it wrecks your deep sleep. It sedates you, not restores you. If you want to feel like a man in the morning, skip the whiskey at night. Number 7, don't eat late. Big meals too close to bed keep your digestive system running when it should be resting. Finish your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bedtime and keep it light and clean. Number 8, keep a consistent schedule. Look, your body loves rhythm. It loves consistency. Bed and wake times that stay consistent 7 days a week. You're not a college kid anymore. Discipline in your sleep schedule creates balance in your hormones and sharpness in your mind. Number 9, get some morning sunshine. Within 30 minutes of waking, get outside, even if it's just for a few minutes. That natural light's going to reset your circadian rhythm. It's going to boost serotonin. It tells your body it's go time. Bonus points if you combine it with movement, some sort of a walk, some push-ups, maybe even prayer on your porch. Number 10, create a pre-bed ritual. A powerful day starts with the night before. So build a ritual that signals to your mind and your body that it's time to shut down. Maybe that's prayer, breath work, journaling, stretching. Just keep it simple, repeat it nightly, and watch your body start craving that rhythm. All right, guys, so there's 10 tips for optimal sleep. I got a few bonus tips for you here. For those of you that maybe are struggling with calming down at night and getting ready for bed, I recommend magnesium, like specifically magnesium glycinate or magnesium glycine before bed. That's going to help you get out of your fight or flight and into your rest and digest system. Maybe take a warm shower an hour or so before bed. It actually helps your body cool down afterwards. And then keep a notepad or a journal next to your bed. And if something's weighing on your mind in the evening before bedtime, write it down so it doesn't follow you into the night there. And then my last tip here is to start tracking your sleep if you don't already. I personally wear an Oura ring, but a Whoop or an Apple Watch or Fitbit, some sort of a sleep tracker, because what gets measured gets managed. And remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about intention. You don't need a dozen hacks. You just need to treat sleep like your edge depends on it, because it does. When you dial in your sleep, you'll start waking up different. You're going to have more energy, more patience, more focus. Your workouts will feel stronger, your mood steadier, your drive higher. And this is how men sharpen their edge, not just in the gym, but in life. Okay, guys, so let's just shift gears here and let's talk about one of the biggest lies in modern masculinity. It's kind of this idea that real men, we grind harder, we sleep less, and we power through fatigue like we're machines. This whole no sleep hustle culture, that might sound hardcore, but it's not strength. It's stupidity disguised as discipline. It's weak men trying to prove they're strong by destroying the very foundation that makes them powerful. Look, sleep isn't for the lazy. Sleep is for the dangerous. Because a man who sleeps well, who guards his rest like treasure, shows up in the morning with clarity, confidence, and control. He's sharp, patient, focused. His hormones are balanced. His workouts are on fire. His mind is calm under pressure. He's dangerous in the best possible way. He's disciplined. He's steady. He's lethal. Now, contrast that with the so-called grind guy. He's irritable, foggy, tired. He's snapping at his wife and kids. He can't focus. He can't perform. He can't lead. His workouts are trash. His libido's dead. He's chugging caffeine all through the day just to stay upright. That's not a warrior. That's a zombie with a to-do list. So here's what most guys miss. Every hour of sleep you sacrifice is a withdrawal from your masculine bank account. And eventually, you're going into overdraft. You start losing your edge, your drive, your power, your discipline. Your testosterone tanks, your patience evaporates, your mission loses clarity. You cannot pour out from an empty cup, guys. And I'll tell you something else. The strongest men on the planet know this. Elite athletes, special forces operators, top CEOs, they guard their sleep like a sacred ritual because they know performance isn't built on burnout, it's built on recovery. So let's bury this nonsense once and for all. Sleep isn't the enemy of achievement. It's the multiplier of it. You want to be more productive? Sleep more. You want to be more focused? Sleep better. You want to lead, protect, and provide with confidence and strength? Then stop pretending that exhaustion is a virtue. Because real toughness isn't grinding yourself into the ground. It's having the wisdom and the humility to rest when you need it so you can rise ready for battle. All right, men, so let's zoom out a second. We've talked about sleep as physical recovery. We've talked about hormone balance and mental clarity and the importance of sleep for all of that. But there's something deeper here that I think a lot of men overlook, and that's that sleep isn't just biology. It's obedience. It's a spiritual act of surrender. Because when you close your eyes at night, you're saying, I'm not God. I'm not in control. The world can keep spinning without me. And that's a hard truth for a lot of men to swallow, especially those of us who take pride in leading and providing and protecting and building. But rest is built into the design of creation itself. In Genesis, even God rests on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because he was modeling something for us. He was showing us that rest isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's a rhythm. Work hard and then recover hard. Push during the day, recharge at night. You were never meant to go full throttle 24/7. And when you reject rest, you're not being disciplined, you're being disobedient. You're saying, God, I don't trust that you'll handle things while I rest. And guys, that's not strength, that's pride. But when you embrace rest as a part of your spiritual discipline, everything shifts. You start showing up to life with peace instead of panic, with clarity instead of chaos, with strength that's rooted in purpose, not pressure. Sleep becomes a sacred rhythm of trust, a nightly reminder that God's got this. Think about this. How many times in Scripture did God meet people in their sleep? He gave Jacob his dream. He gave Joseph direction. He gave Solomon wisdom. Rest has always been one of God's favorite meeting places. So what if your inability to sleep well is a symptom of you carrying burdens you were never meant to carry alone? Because, brother, it's time to lay those down. Close your eyes tonight knowing that you've done the work and that the creator of the universe is still on duty, because when you rest in faith, you rise in power. All right, guys, we've covered a lot here so far. We've stripped away some myths. We've laid out some science. We dug into the spiritual truth of sleep. But now it's time to do what men do best, and that's take action. Because talking doesn't change anything. Habits do. So here's your challenge for this week. Audit your sleep. For the next 7 nights, track how long you sleep and how rested you feel when you wake up. You don't need any fancy gadgets. Just be honest with yourself. And then, guys, I want you to pick one habit from the battle plan and fix it. Maybe it's killing the late night scroll. Maybe it's skipping that nightcap. Maybe it's finally setting a bedtime and sticking to it like it's an appointment with your future self. Start small, be consistent, and in a few weeks, you'll feel it. That quiet surge of energy, focus, and power that only comes from a man who's truly rested. Because here's the truth. When you master your sleep, you master your mornings. When you master your mornings, you master your day. And when you master your day, you're going to master your life. You become the kind of man who walks into every room with calm confidence. You think clearer. You lead better. You love stronger. You become dangerous again. Dangerous to weakness, to mediocrity, to everything that keeps men small and tired and uninspired. And remember, this isn't just physical. Every night when you close your eyes, you're also laying down your pride. You're saying, God, I trust you with what I can't control. And that simple act of surrender will recharge you in ways that caffeine never could. So tonight, when you crawl into bed, make it sacred. Dark room, cool air, no distractions. Say a short prayer of gratitude. Breathe deep and rest like the warrior you were created to be. Because the mission continues tomorrow and the world needs you sharp, strong, and ready for battle. Okay, men, that's our show for this week. Don't forget to download our free guide titled How to Raise Your Testosterone Naturally. You can find the download link in the show notes for this episode on whatever app you're listening to this podcast on. If you've enjoyed today's show, here are 3 ways you can support us. Number 1, share this episode with a friend. Number 2, make sure to like and follow this show, and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Number 3, give us a follow over at Instagram. We're at Alpha Edge Army, so that's Alpha Edge Army all run together. I really appreciate you men taking the time to listen, and until next week, stay strong.